validate the 2010 map presented to La Republique. No military of La Republique should have, in any circumstances, been in Southern Cameroon for whatever it is. There should be no military of La Republique in Southern Cameroon territory in the first place. On the injustice of the British government. The injustice of the British government, because the British government believe that they're going to provide security. That is, there are certain areas. You have internal security and external security. And external security is dealt with the Department of Defense. Internal security provide harmony within the internal issues. So British government did allow the citizens of Southern Cameroon to have internal security. That is the Southern Cameroon police, they call the Mumawik. So Southern Cameroon did have a police force. But British did not allow the external defense system because they believe that they're going to provide the external defense system in case of attack by any foreign nations. That is why during the war, France, no nation were able to attack Southern Cameroon because they knew that they're going to meet the might of the Great Britain. And Southern Cameroon, Great Britain should have prepared Southern Cameroon towards this eventual event. But establishing Defense Department of Southern Cameroon, they did not do that. And that is the problem that we are facing now. Because when they disband the Southern Cameroon police wing and transfer them to La Republique, that's the beginning of chaos of what we are facing now. So British government shouldn't have disbanded, should have allowed the Southern Cameroon to have their defense system. Then we would have been in better positions to face this fact. And so that is why I blame the British government for their injustice towards their colonial. Fonja did not foresee this. Southern Cameroon citizens, Fonja did not foresee these future events that La Republique will eventually overtake if Southern Cameroon would have had their own police army force. They wouldn't have meddling in Southern Cameroon. But they were able to do so because they were not army defense in Southern Cameroon because of what British government do. So now, Southern Cameroon is capable. And that is why the funding of Southern Cameroon is imperative. You know? That is why the funding of Southern Cameroon is imperative. The funding of Southern Cameroon is imperative. That we all have to support the defense system of Southern Cameroon against the East injustice. Because if the British government had done the right thing, if the British government should have supported the defense force in Southern Cameroon, they concentrate on the police force for internal issues. But they did not contend the problem of external aggression because they believed that they could come in and defend the Southern Cameroon. So because the mighty navy of the Great Britain, Fonja did not foresee that any problem could arise. And so now the problem has arisen because we did not have our defense force. France built La Republique both internal and external. And that is why they are able to migrate to Southern Cameroon. But now that we have realized these problems, that is why we must stand and fight and defend our territory. Providing funding for the defense force of Southern Cameroon is imperative. I want to make clear for those living here in the United States because they will be wondering, what is this guy speaking about? Let me speak on the United States because it is imperative that we educate the people of the United States because they might be wondering, why this guy always speak about defense system? Does he work with the defense? Here in the United States, I want to explain to the citizens of this wonderful nation. The people of Southern Cameroon is a country in West Africa. The people of Southern Cameroon is a country in West Africa. They were fully deprived of their privilege to exist as a nation. They were deprived by the British government. They were deprived by the British government to provide security, independence. They did not prepare the people of Southern Cameroon. And that is why you see the people of Southern Cameroon are fighting, sacrifice their lives because of injustice that were placed upon them by the British government. You all know Southern Cameroon. So that is why it is imperative that you fund the Southern Cameroon defense system. And while we are funding the Southern Cameroon defense system, Southern Cameroon, we need to be prepared to look at the vision of the defense system that we may have in Southern Cameroon Ambazonia. We must be willing to look at the structural foundation of the Ambazonian defense system. Because once we get the vision of the Ambazonian defense system, we are better to face the enemy of La Republique. We are better prepared to face the enemy, La Republique. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Fellow brothers and sisters, I want to assure you that we are at war. So I encourage all our PhD in every profession, all our PhD, that we have all of them. It's time to come on board. It's time to come on board. All our PhD, because they are hiding somewhere. They are hiding somewhere, and I know most of them. They are hiding somewhere. They don't want to come on board. They want to stay. When the times come, then that time they come on the table and tell you, oh, I am going to be doing this. I am going to be doing this. It's now the time to stay here on board and bring those PhD. I have many of them. They just hide around. They just hide around and they're just thinking around. They don't want to show up. They want to stay somewhere and wait let the war is won. That's when they bring their PhD and tell you how the PhD were gotten. But I am here. This is the moment that those PhD to come on board and stand for the foundation of the people of Southern Cameroon. This is the moment those PhD need to step up. You know? I am not personally against anyone because anyone can become PhD. That is true. But in the question of crisis in Southern Cameroon, it is everyone's problems. It's not a selected few. It's not a selected few. It's everyone's problems. Because injustice was carried upon the people of Southern Cameroon. That is why we are here at this moment. Expose it to the international community. Let them face and do the right thing. Fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war. We are at war. You all know how most of the financial institutions were rooted out of Southern Cameroon. You all know about Bank. Bank for those who lived in the days of the Southern Cameroon. You all know Bank. Bank is the most valued financial institution in Southern Cameroon territory. Bank was rooted out and the financial director, money uprooted and transferred to Yaoundé. Where is Bank today? You all know Bank. For many of you of this current generation may not know what is Bank. Bank was a viable financial institution in Southern Cameroon. It has excess surplus. It has excess surplus and in surplus in balance sheet in Southern Cameroon territory. But when we have this La Republique appointed officials, Bank was immediately uprooted and the financial aspect was destroyed and the document destroyed. Today we don't have Bank is history. Bank is history. You all know SBC. SBC was also uprooted when the director was appointed by Francophones. That bank was immediately uprooted. The liquidity ratio of that bank, when I talk of liquidity ratio, I mean the capital, the financial aspect, it was uprooted by the Francophones. Because the directors were Francophones. Since the Southern Cameroon has no voice, now they were uproot others. You all know the Cameroon Development Bank. You all know the ONCB, National Marketing Board. You all know about the National Marketing Board. That was responsible for production of agriculture in Southern Cameroon. It was closed. It was closed. It was closed by this terrorist government of La Republique. It was closed. You all know about the PowerCam. PowerCam, where's PowerCam? PowerCam is closed. PowerCam was sold. You all know about Sodepam. Where is Sodepam? You know the National Investment Corporation. The National Investment Corporation was based in Yaoundé. The National Investment Corporation, the director of National Investment Corporation was a Francophone. When a journalist asked the director of National Investment Bank how much revenue does the National Investment Bank generate? It says those figures can be calculated between him and Paul Biya. That was his response to a journalist asking that question. Is that it is the figure can be calculated between him and Paul Biya in Etude. Those are the two individuals when the citizens are asking for accountability, and he is stating that it is Paul Biya. Here in the United States, it is not the accountability of President Trump. It is accountability to the United States citizens, because when they go to vote, they choose who is their president. When the citizens of this great nation, when they go to the poll, they choose who is their president. So because they choose who is their president, then the president must be accountable to the U.S. citizens. Donald Trump is going around campaigning to the citizens of these great nations to tell them what he is going to do if he is elected. He has to go and explain. When will Paul Biya ever step out of Etude to go and campaign? He doesn't step out because he knows that the parliament Etude belongs to him. That is the fraud. Biya ever step out of Etude to go and campaign? Of course not. He has the stewardship that they step out. And the steward that manipulate the result of the elections that he himself appointed and tell them what the outcome of the result. And that is why he wins 99.9%. But in Southern Cameroon, that will never happen. That is why the people of Southern Cameroon is standing up for freedom. The people of Southern Cameroon has to stand up. We have to stand up against this injustice in La Republique. You have the military that are super superior. The military of La Republique has no accountability. Once they have the gun, they think they are above every person because they have been made to understand by the French system. Once they have the gun, they think they are superior. And now they're asking the citizens of Southern Cameroon to drop their weapon and come to the table. Really? La Republique is asking the Southern Cameroon to drop their weapon and come to the table. On what table and on what grounds? Fellow brothers and sisters, I can assure you, we are at war, and I